Hey guys, today we are going to achieve this kind of look cinematic lights on the product that I have prepared for you in advance. Let's start right away with the setting up the scene. Let's place the camera in the right place for us, somewhere here. Let's align everything, set up the settings that are convenient for you, and immediately start with setting up the scene. Okay, let's create our plane, move it along the y-axis further away from our object and create a cube which our headphones will actually stand. Let's up the bevel so that edges are not so harsh, somewhere like this. Yeah, wonderful. And let's move the headphones a little bit so that in our frame everything looks not bad. So let's check it. Yeah, excellent. Let's immediately set up our environment. Let's make surface straight. Let's immediately make it so that our space is completely black and set up our first light. Our first light will act on our background and at the same time a minimally effect on our headphones. Our task is to achieve that the color of the background, the light of the background would look a gradient. For this we will reduce area light along the local X. Let's set it up from the bottom up, play around a little bit with actually the settings, and it's ready. And let's already start working on our headphones. At the first light I want to choose our orange narrow light, which will strike the specific point. For this we will reduce the spread to 80, 70, the setup to the point of interest, reduce the light maximally along the X, lower the spread even further to 11 degrees, and set up the light the way we like it to fall, right? So that is doesn't affect the cube, so that's it strikes the specific point. And let's choose a color. The color will be something orange, but also I don't really like this orange, so let's lower the exposure. What else? I think we need to play around with the temperature. Let's the temperature be like 5000 kelvin, so that the color is warmer. And adding our next light source, we will be changing the story the way we like it. Here let's add a new area light and place it from the behind so that our headphones headbands are illuminated and we could see clearly the edges of our headphones. And also let's set up the plane that will display the light source, reflect the light sources so that they fall a little bit like onto the headphones. When working with light, I always make the light sources as narrow as possible. That is at the moment right here. I want to eliminate a left headphone light a little bit from the behind so that the highlight and contour are clearly traced on our shot and the stop shot. That is precisely I will be setting up both the spread and the light power and the exposure until they illuminate just a little bit. More precisely, not just a little bit, until the illuminate is strongly enough, but at the same time is not overexposed. Yeah, we will need to illuminate a specific point of interest. In this case, in the left headphone, left rear edge, and we are working only on it. We are not interested in all the headphones, right? Perhaps this method of setting up the light is not entirely correct, and it will not be suitable for animation, but nevertheless, detailing the light and emphasizing all the details and small objects in our scene is very important for the picture to turn out the precisely cinematic. We duplicated the light, made it even narrowed, and placed it already on the right side in order to make room from behind. Yeah, and the combination of our orange light with the white light allows achieving the interesting result. Again, um, Again, we will play around with the power, play around with the spread, and so you can see I don't work on spread of 180 at all. I always use around 780. And now let's work with the ears, specifically with our leather parts of headphones. Let's make the light even smaller and set it up to the highlights our leather part and show and sell our headphones and show that it is the leather. So the light falls, catches the plastic a little bit, highlights are reflected, and to our buyer, a potential one on our website, on the marketplace where this image will be displayed, it will be clearly seen what kind of material is this, why it is worth buying, what imperfection there are on it. This is precisely why we are setting up the light, even if it's small, if it's not the way it needs to be according to the textbook, precisely and specific point into our zone of interest, precisely what we are selling. Because it's precisely for this we are making this image, in order to show other masters or 3D artists how the light is set up. We are doing our work so that the buyer potential one buys this product. It is precisely for this, while setting up the light, playing along the X. Never use just a square light or just ellipses. Yeah, play with the spread, play with the power, and actually illuminate precisely that zone of interesting one after another. Let's say you have 20 lights of sources, light sources, it doesn't matter. There is one more light, let's duplicate it. And right now I want to, what do I want to, and right now I want to throw some light specifically on the front part so that the image become brighter overall, because everything that I see from the front looks a bit dim to me right now. I don't really like it. I want the image to be again brighter and more pleasant. So let's try to play around again with the light wise, its size, power and exposure. By setting up the light like this, half of my highlights and half of the details seem to have vanished. Therefore, I will just try to take this light and duplicate it earlier, place it higher up and rotate along the X line. Yeah, like this way. I just want to make it slightly less bright. And as you can see, the orange part of our light has disappeared a bit. So I want to make it more expressive. Let's move it a little bit, make it warmer again, and lower the exposure. Let's see how the image works in different models, in different modes, and let's duplicate the backlight, the rim light one more time. Let's have two of them. So we have 9 light sources right now in total, but like I don't really care about that because the image is turning out quite good. Okay, let's set up the frame the way we like it, so it looks again cinematic, so that there is some kind of sense of majesty. Let's take a closer look, and I don't like that our orange color is not invisible, right? Let's move the back rim light, and the contours are clearly visible. The lampshades looks good, the ears looks cool, but the orange color, our main accent, is not really tracing through, so we will move it. We will make it a bit warmer, not a bit warmer, but just specifically warmer by 4000 Kelvin. Let's round the render and see. Yeah, awesome. I like it, but the top of headbands there is not illuminated, so let's add an 11 light. Let's rotate it, position it in such way that our little lampshade is not well enough. And yes, I like it this way. I like it this way. Let's set up the frame again, run a render, and let's adjust the compositing beforehand. And let's adjust the compositing beforehand. I want to add the foreglow so that we have a small glow and slight haze. Just a minimal amount of height quality, somewhere like 1.15, 0.50 for saturation, and let the size be 0.2. Excellent, let's compare. It's practically unnoticeable in the viewport, but nevertheless it will look pretty good in render. We don't need to overexpose it too much anyway. Yeah, let's leave it 1.65. Let's add lens distortion. Means we'll be distort the camera slightly. See what this node does. Let's distort the camera at dispersion. So again, in our photorealistic shot, right, when we take shots in reality, we never have a perfect camera. All our cameras are already worn out, previously used, so camera flaws need to be added to the render as well, so that your image doesn't look plastic. Let's play around with the glare, with the lens distraction. Excellent. And overall, let's add a little bit more noise. So that again, we don't end up with a polished and too plastic looking image. Okay, excellent. And instead of doing compositing in Photoshop or other editors, let's add a saturation right here. Let's play around repeatedly with the saturation, with the volume, with the exposure in the render itself. Let's look at different models, but I like AGX the most in this case. Let's lower the gamma, turn on all of our nodes, run the render, and voila, done. I quite like this result, meaning we can see all the imperfections, all the cracks, all the scuffs on, and the dust on the laser ears. We can clearly see all the highlights and not overexposed. All the scuffs are visible, and laser looks like leather. The plastic looks like plastic. The corrosion on the metal looks like a corrosion on the metal. And even single curve of our product is clearly illuminated, understandable to our potential buyer, and can be traced in this frame. Again, the color in the back, not chosen by accident, right? We choose an orange color in the front and blush green in the back, right? The technique is called Teal Orange. And even so, we will set 11 light sources for the static frame, which will be quite difficult and practically impossible to animate. But for the static frame, it's perfectly fine. So thank you for your attention and subscribe to keep up with our next episodes.